Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Beyond the Chairs. My name is Erica Chancellor, your host, and today we have A.K.A. Miss Pretty Little Barber in the house. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like me on Instagram. Also go to our Anchor podcast and like us and subscribe and get your notifications and turn them on so you can hear all about Miss Pretty Little Barber today.
Yes.
And our past host too, our past guest as well. So go
Yeah.
ahead and introduce yourself, Miss
Well,
Pretty
I'm
Little Barber.
Aaryn, A.K.A. Pretty Little Barber. I've been cutting hair for a while, but I've been in like the business for a long time because, as you know, my mom is a hairstylist. So I think she got her license when I was like 3 years old. So I've been a shop baby since then.
Oh, wow. Yes. I know about those.
Yeah, now I have a baby, so she's a shop baby, and yeah, I love it. I love what I do.
That's
I like to
cool.
go, I like to plan hair and do barbering. So
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So I know you've been hearing about, we got to talk about our current events. So the most recent one was the Gorilla Glue girl. Why? Why?
I don't understand why people think they need to slick their hair down to their head like that. Like, I guess people have not heard of traction tension. Like, literally, I'm looking into like hair restoration because that's where everybody's headed with these wigs and weaves and, you know, pulling their hair up too tight and the baby hair and all of that. Like, everybody's going to be bald. Exactly. A lot of people are bald. They just keep attaching hair to it, you know? So
it's so true.
I don't understand what she was thinking. I mean, I don't even, as a hairstylist, I don't even put a lot of products in my hair. Like, you know, we don't do all that hairspray and all that extra, because what's the point? You don't need all that stuff, you know?
And you just cleaned it.
Yeah, why would you put all that stuff? And then I'm like, you don't think about your pores. Your pores are not breathing when you put that on. Like Gorilla Glue or whatever she used, snot, whatever, that is for furniture. Like,
man, really.
And then just as a Black woman, I'm not using nothing for my hair with a gorilla on it.
Man,
like that really? Is offensive to me. Like, I wouldn't even if it was a hair product, I would not support the brand.
Right.
You know? So
yeah. I understand. I remember when H&M, yep, I'm putting y'all on blast.
Yep.
They had the little monkey shirt with the kid on it. I'm like,
yeah, really? I can't do the whole look. And it'd be different if we weren't referenced as monkeys or gorillas and stuff, but since they like to, you know, associate us with those types of things, then no, we don't support. Nothing. And they should know better. But yeah, I was almost like, girl, did you do that for clout? Because nobody with common sense would put that in their hair. Yeah. And I would be like petrified if I put a product in my hair and when I put water on it, you can't like emulsify it or anything, like nothing. You got to go to the hospital. I would have like passed out.
Man. And then I'm thinking about the long-term effects. What about all the solutions and stuff that they use to take that out of her hair? I'm sure that's all in her system right now.
Oh, for sure. And then it's so close to your brain. I'm like, obviously your brain, no offense, lady, but your cells were fried a little bit anyway before you did it. And then you're going to put all these chemicals on top. Like, no, bad deal for sure.
So, I mean, what are some alternatives that you would have suggested for her? Because I know for me, when I do my ponytail, I like my ponytail to be slick. I'm one of those. So for me, I would put like an extra scarf on it and that would help lay it down, you know.
Press like comb.
Just like press it out.
People are so busy with this flat iron. And to me, if your roots are textured, that flat iron is not going to
get
what you need. So obviously your hair wasn't straightened properly before you even tried to get into that style, you know? Right. And then some hairstyles are not for everybody. Like even me with my hair texture, my hair is going to curl up if I try to do a deep side part if the hair is wet. Right. My hair be straight. And then of course, you know, you got to realize what product you're putting in because some stuff makes your hair revert to its natural state. So yes, you straighten your hair and then you go in with gel or something, of course it's going to wave up. So no, you don't go run and find something in your house. And then like me, I have like, ask my mom, she thinks I'm crazy. I have to change my hairstyle like all the time. So sometimes I just don't have what I need. You got to leave it alone, you know?
Right. Exactly.
You're not a teenager. Like, where'd you have to go with your hair slicked down to your head like that?
And we was quarantined. We was quarantined too, right?
Yeah, I mean, but like there's edge control. I've used lotion, water, like you said, scarves. If you got to put 2 or 3 on there, the hair will lay down. Or if you get straight out the shower while your hair is still wet and brushing and molded, like your hair will form. You know, it's like mousse, all kind of stuff before you go put some. I would be cautious of hair glue. Period. You know, just in general. Yeah. So I don't know what she was thinking. Alternative is a professional hairstylist, and that is why we exist, because of situations like this.
Period, point blank. Period. Period, point blank. Why y'all trying to talk about we non-essential?
We are very essential. Clearly.
There you go.
Because even the doctors couldn't get that out of her head.
Yes, exactly. She went to several. Okay. Yes.
Several, and none of them could help her. So
yes. Yeah. Well, how has coronavirus affected your business, if it has affected it at all?
So honestly, I mean, it affected like my day-to-day of barbering, but it honestly gave me like that reset I needed, like that slowdown, because I feel like we didn't get a slowdown. Even like we went holidays, New Year's, like usually like our industry slows down at certain times of the year. I feel like I was just like full force. I was all over the place. I was at my studio. I was working in a corporate salon. Mm-hmm. Then I'm cutting celebrities, and I'm just all over the place. So when they shut us down, I was kind of like, oh, this is great. But of course I did have to close my studio. I had to. Now I cut from home for now, but it's kind of like at my own pace. I got rid of all my cheap clients, you know, the ones you be trying to go up on and they want to like fight you. So now I'm like, oh, it's coronavirus. And then through the pandemic, I just cut celebrities because I was charging like 800, 1,000, 1,200, like, so that's how I made it through. But with the pivot, it also gave me time to do other stuff, like, because we do hair, but that's not all that we do, you know? Yeah, exactly. Like we have so many other talents. So I got to lose weight, then everybody was asking me about that. So that's how I came up with my other thing, Fine and Fit. And then I already had my men's line going. So that gave me time to like sit down and figure out what I really want to do. Cause you know, when you at the shop, you don't even get to eat sometimes. So let alone do another business, you know?
And that's exactly why I started Beyond the Chair podcast and YouTube channel, because we don't get a voice out there. And it's so hard for us to step from behind that chair and just do little stuff like this that we know we've been called to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like you say, you know, you have different talents. I know I have different talents, but just being able to tap into it is so hard when you work behind the chair.
And then I'm 33, but my body, like my knee cracks when I walk up the stairs. I got veins all in my hands, like all the way up here from blow dryers, and like sometimes my fingers actually cramp up, and I'm like, there is no way I'm going to get to whatever age still in this industry. Like I want to do it for fun. So
yeah, exactly.
I was like, now this business is on my terms, you know? So I'm like all over the place right now with like trying to figure it out. Do I want to open up a shop? Do I just want to do education? Like, what do I want to do? But I feel like in our business too, it's so many different things you get to do, you know, like you could work on sets, you could just make wigs, you could work in a shop if you want to, you could, like, you never have to go in a shop and be a hairstylist if you want. You could work and stay bored, you could just do so many things. And then I think too, people think, oh, once you do hair or barbering, that's all that you are. But like maybe this blessing or this, you know, craft was given to you so you can meet the right person one day in your chair. And you know, because a lot of opportunities I got came from people that I met while I was cutting hair and stuff. So I know for sure. And then I know the anxiety I get when I gotta go to the shop. I hate it.
Right. Like
if I'm not going to do something like, oh, today I want to dye my hair red. Other than that, I'm not trying to run up in the shop and sit there all day. Like I had clients that text me already like, oh, I need to cut this week. What day are you working? Because I need to cut by Thursday. I want to be like, you and your haircut. Like, don't harass me about a haircut. He already called me about 5 or 6 times since I didn't respond. And that's another thing too. Like we don't even get an hour
To respond.
It's like, hello, I said I need, like, excuse me, you can't call any other business and demand anything from them. But since it's me and I'm like a Black woman, it's like, oh, this is what I need, and I need this from you right now. And I'm like, number one, I'm not your woman. You don't take care of me. And then it's always the clients who are not consistent with being consistent. Like, I see you once every 6 weeks, but it's like, yo, I need you to get me in today.
Exactly.
I had a dude that wanted a haircut at 9:30 the other night. No, 7:30. He was gonna get a haircut. He texted me like, oh, the kid is not feeling good. I'm gonna wait till the mom get here. This dude called me at like 9:30, 9:45. Like, oh, can I come now? Then question mark, question mark, question mark. And I'm like, you already know I work a regular job during the day. I work in a home health and hospice agency. So like, that's just a crazy job in general. And then because it's a mental job. So it's one thing when you do something that your body does naturally, but when you have to mentally like go back and forth, like it's different than, you know, something than when you're in your creative space. So I don't want to cut your hair after I've been at work for 8 hours doing something crazy mentally, and then here you come. But he don't understand that. It's like, oh, I'm going out of town.
Right. And it's like, okay, where's other people too that cut hair?
And then the way I didn't even like the way he initially approached the situation. He was like, yeah, I need a haircut by this time, or you can send me a referral. So you know what I did? I sent the referral.
Right.
And then he got to see that even when he hit up this other barber that I referred him to, that barber was not available that day.
It don't work like that.
I'm like, even people that I see memes about the weed man, they're like, do you sell it or do you not? Because I can't even get in contact with you. But it's like, people have careers and things that they do because they like it, not to be of service to you whenever you feel like you need me, you know?
And that's the big thing about being in a service industry, is that people just think that they can call you at all times of the day. They think that you're supposed to return their call at all times of the day. And it's like, no, I have a life. I have a life. Please.
And I'm trying to build more in my life, you know?
Exactly. Not just doing your hair, because you only going to come once or twice a week. I got to eat in between there too.
And let the economy get funny. You're not coming.
Exactly.
So then I'm gonna really have to figure it out anyway. And then they take it as, oh, you Hollywood now, or you think you all that because of whatever. And I'm like, yeah, when you in desperate times, you might have to do different things, or you might have to work a certain way. But when God lifts you to a certain level, like, you need to behave on that level, you know? So
exactly.
Like with me, I'm like, I don't even do lineups anymore. I'm like, because that's gonna take so much work for me to line you up, especially if you're not a dude who's coming like Tuesday and Saturday, where your hair, you really don't need to touch up, but it's all mental for you. Exactly. You coming in here every 4 to 6 weeks, dude. You know how much work I'm gonna have to do to give you a perfect line? That's a haircut. So now, you know, I just charge what I charge. And then even when I started, just all working, doing my sisters and my friends, and my sister in particular, not my mom's kids, but my dad's daughter, I did her and my friends' hair, all kind of bleach and colors and all this. These heifers went to the mall and went shopping and came back, they didn't give me a dime for their hair, and didn't buy me nothing when I was there. I mean, while they were there.
But bought all the clothes, bought all these clothes
for themselves,
spending your money in your basically.
And I was so upset. I was like, well, it's your fault. I was like, so from here on out, I even had a girl, we went to the beauty supply. We get to the register, she don't have her money. She was like my best friend at the time. And I'm like, so I paid to bleach your hair? Like, no. Exactly. So yeah, I was just like, I just have to, you know, you just have to be stern.
You gotta draw the line. You have to draw the line. You have to,
because if you don't, like,
they gonna cross it run all over time. Yes.
Yep. They're gonna try to guilt trip you, all that. So now I'm like, I could be the biggest bee. I know I'm fair. So
exactly. And that's why you want to sit in my chair too, because I'm fair and I'm good.
Or even people just in the industry that I had a friend, she would always call me to do stuff. And after a while, I said, please don't call me to do anything else for free. Like, I'm driving to Hollywood, you know, all the random places we shoot and film at.
Yes.
And so what is a celebrity? I don't care. I'm like, don't call me if the thing is free. Like, how can I leave here? Sometimes I used to leave jobs with no gas.
Right.
You know, you like barely trying to make it home, or maybe you do have $40, but all you can do is put the $40 in your tank, and then you at home eating Lunchables. And like, I was just like, this is stupid.
I think it's a matter of really understanding your worth.
Yeah. And being confident enough to be like, okay, you're not coming, that's fine.
Right. And
or no, I cannot do this. for
Yeah,
you for free, like, because it's not even smart. Like, what do you get in business for to give away your
exactly.
business?
Yes.
It's not a nonprofit.
It's not. So what are you doing to protect your clients and yourself during COVID if you're doing anything different? I know the masks are required, but are you doing anything differently?
I do masks. I think in our business, we already had the cleanest business out there. You got to sanitize and disinfect anyway. So I was always big on that because, especially when I got in barbering, or let me say, even in cosmetology, just people I assisted, like opening up their drawer and I'm like, ew, or picking something up and it's greasy, and just some people just are not clean anyway, just in themselves. So I always wanted to make sure, like, I was one of those barbers or hairstylists. Like, if my bag does fall open, it's not
Right.
crazy stuff falling out, or when I do open my drawer, it's not dirty combs and brushes and stuff. So like, I have plastic capes, I have a spray sanitizer. I'll probably only take like 2 people a day, maybe 1 person. Some people, if you were a dirty client, like the type when I wipe your neck and it was black, you're not coming at all because you're not a clean person in general.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Mm.
so everything's like disposable now. And, I use my cordless stuff a lot so I could spray it and put it somewhere. But I feel like we had to sanitize all day anyway.
Right. Right.
So I guess just with like the extra spraying and that kind of stuff,
Right. And like you say, the disposable capes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the plastic cape and I love those. I was like, I may never ever go back to
Go back.
a regular
Yeah.
cape. And I wasn't big on like taking my comb from client number 1 all the way to client number 5 anyway. Like, to me, you always pull a new
Comb.
tool, like
Yeah.
you can buy combs. If you go to Sally's, and that's not even our beauty supply, but if you go there, you can get 25 combs for $2. So
Exactly. Yeah.
why are you using the same tools on people anyway? Like, and then with barber and stuff get transferred so fast. Like, if you got little bumps, and like, you can't just cut that person and then cut the next person or use the same
Yeah.
comb. You don't know what that is. So
That's
I
what I
feel
was
like,
gonna say. I know
yeah,
why you're saying that with barbering you had to be a little bit more careful, because I think it's more blood that's exposed when
yeah.
you're doing barbering. As you said, like when you do have the bumps and stuff, it's easy for that to get transferred from client to client. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, yes. And we appreciate you doing that,
Thank you.
taking that extra step. Yeah, because I mean, like you say, when I get my son's haircut, it's like his clippers weren't clean, because you wouldn't
Yeah,
be bumping up right now. You
and
know
you
what
can
I'm
tell.
saying? Certain things, as
Yeah.
from being in this business. And so I explain them to I not, give them a lot of education on what they should look for when they're going to the salons. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sounds like you do too. Yeah.
But even with the clippers, it's not just spraying them, and you need to go take them to the people that repair clippers so they can open them. You literally get like wads of hair out of it. It's disgusting. It's
Yes.
almost like the hair you pull out of your apron. You know how you can get
Yes.
like a hairball that stick out of your apron if you really get in there, like. So yeah, it's a lot.
Yes.
But I feel like if you follow state board regulations, like, you were up to par anyway. Because even with my studio, I kept my studio super clean, because I feel
Right.
like, just as Black people in our industry, and we have businesses, we don't keep them clean enough. It's almost like when you go to a traditional nail shop. I'm like,
Mhm.
y'all just decorated one time, y'all cleaned up one time, and that was it. Like, why are the chairs peeling? And like, certain stuff is just not acceptable. So I never wanted to have dust around, and
Making
old
sure the
products from 15
restrooms,
years ago.
right, yeah,
Restroom need to be clean,
yes,
so
definitely, yes.
yeah.
So when did you figure out that you wanted to be a barber, and who inspired you?
Well, actually, my boyfriend was in barber school and I was in cosmetology school when he passed away. So I was at Paul Mitchell and he was out here on like Crenshaw and Imperial. So I don't know if you know Trevor, but that was his teacher.
Oh yeah, I know
And yeah,
Trevor.
so that's who he was with. So he was really like on a good path. So when he passed away, that's when I was like, oh, I'm done with hair. Like, I'm so over it. So I worked in a psych facility. So that's how, like, back and forth I go with like the medical field and actually doing hair. Cause like,
Mm,
I could write some nurses notes, psychiatrist notes. Like, you would think I was a nurse if we had to talk about that. And then like, I got the whole beauty industry thing. So after I realized like working in an office, I'm just not like the same 9 to 5 type of person. Like I gotta switch it up. So I couldn't even go in the barbershop every day. I gotta do something else. So when I did, this lady came up to me in the mall and was like, you need to leave your boyfriend and you need to go back to doing hair. Like you need to pray over your hands and you need to go back to work. And I was like, she's crazy. Like she's nuts. But I was like, I am not happy with my boyfriend. Like, and I do need to go back to work. So that's what I did. But when I did it, I was like, damn, I don't want to do hair.
Right. Okay.
So I ended up, because I was out of school for like 2 or 3 years before I even took my test. I was like, I'm not doing it. My mom was like, does that make sense that you will go, first of all, spend all that time and then as much money as that school costs? Like I went to Palm Mitchell in Orange County. So Costa Mesa, they was hitting. Yeah. It was like $25,000 when I went, or $26,000. That was in 2006. So she was like, you gonna pay them the money still and get nothing from it. So I was like, all right, I'm praying over my hands to go back to work. But it's been like up ever since.
Right. Ever since you started back doing it.
Yeah. So I did Alexander and Niche. So my boyfriend's name was Marquise Corniche Alexander. So I used to call him Nietzsche. So half of Corniche, I just call him Nietzsche. And Alexander is his last name. And of course, my daughter's last name. So it's called Alexander and Niche. And when I got the name, I actually paid somebody to give me a list of names for like a men's grooming business. And then I put the name that I created on the list too. So everybody was like, oh, I like this name. Like, how do you say that? Oh, I like that one. That's the best one. So that's the one we went with. And then, yeah, it's just been like uphill ever since. So I would say probably just keeping like our little family legacy or plans that we had. Cause we were like, if we were together through this whole time, like if he didn't pass away, I definitely would have been on another level. Like if I didn't have to mentally deal with that part of life. And then I was so young when it happened. So it really like, probably for like 10 years, I was somewhere else doing something else. Even if I was doing hair, mentally, I was somewhere else, you know?
Right.
And I didn't care. I was just like, whatever. I care about my baby. That's it. You know, like, I'm going to be having fun, do whatever I want to do. So once I guess you get older too, you get smarter. So once I came back to reality, I'm like, okay, I love what I do. I want to be like this. I remember who I was before that incident happened to me. Right. And then I was able to use like, instead of me just being so heartbroken over it, just make it something more positive. So I don't have to it's just not all negativity that comes from when I remember that, you know? So. Yeah.
Cause I know that's hard. Me losing my mom, you know, because I lost my mom from breast cancer. So
and I don't even
know you already know. I know, how you just it's you have to reshift your life, you know, to go on without this person being there. And it's not the easiest thing. It's not.
And I'm like,
everything reminds you of them.
Yeah.
It's like everything was associated with them.
With this person.
Yes, exactly. So yes, I totally understand that. So what advice would you give to a new barber that wants to come into the industry?
Definitely try out every area of the industry. If you coming into as a barber, don't come in as a barber, come in as a cosmetologist, because you want to be able to get in the game and go straight on set if you get the opportunity to. You don't have to want to do that. But like I used to tell my cousin all the time, she's like, I'm going to barber school. I'm like, no, get your Cosmo. She's like, I don't like doing hair and blah, blah, blah. So we work together now. She's a barber, but whenever I get a chance to go on set, she can't go.
Because
I have a barber who's almost like a mentor to me. And now she's trying to get her cosmetology license, and just the frustration behind trying, because you know, once you build a career, you have your career. So your clients are used to you. And then for you to have to go back to school, and it's easier for you to do a Cosmo to barber crossover than a barber to Cosmo. Yeah. There's so much more you have to learn. So I would say definitely make sure you have your cosmetology license, whether you want to ever do hair or not, just so you can get on set. Number 2, don't get behind people who like, don't come like, oh, PrettylilBarber, I want to join her bandwagon. Like, don't do that. You know, like really learn the industry and figure out who you want to be. And then once you figure out which lane you want to be in, then approach somebody who's approachable. Because I feel like this industry also is so celebrity based. Like it's like, oh, if you're not cutting this person, that person. Honestly, celebrity, I love, you know, to do that work and be on set. But to me, my regular people and anybody who really works with celebrities will tell you that your regular clientele is where it's at. Exactly. Because with your celebrities, I ain't cut some people since last year.
Exactly.
Because as soon as they could get out of LA, that's what they did. They got up out of here. So
Yeah.
what if I dissed all my clients to be dependent on this celebrity clientele so that other people can like me, or just even like people wanting to be celebrities themselves. And
Yes.
I'm so tired of going to these classes and it's, oh my God, I was so broke. And then I just start barbering or cutting. And then I was doing hair and now I'm just doing all these great things. And it's like,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. Shut the blah. Like nobody, it's always like this rags to riches story. And I'm like, everybody didn't come up like that. So like me, I don't identify with that story. I always had everything I wanted.
Yes.
My story would be more so making your own way in this industry, period. Yeah. Like that is no joke. Nobody can get you to the level you need to. You got to really work in this game. Like
it's a hustle. It's a hustle.
You gonna cry, you gonna sweat, you gonna be in your, like I didn't have, especially when I worked at Dry Bar, them girls would be in the back crying.
Really?
You know, because everybody's not like me. I'm kind of like not a tit for tat type of person. Like I won't be petty with you, but I feel like if you get to a certain level, you giving me certain type of attitude, you about to get it back. Oh, so you not gonna sit on the floor and tell me, oh, you don't know what you're doing. And like the way, especially when you work in places where people are used to being catered to. So you know those areas, right?
Yes, yes.
So you know if you go in Inglewood and talk mess to your stylist, she might beat you up, right? But in Santa Monica, they don't have that same mindset. It's like my appointment is at 7:01. And it's 7 o'clock. Why can't you take me now? You better take me now. And if you know, like, so that might break somebody down, you know? Yeah. So I've seen like this industry will break you down. So there are going to be some days like you mess up or you don't feel good or, you know, like your clients really take you there. So that's why I also say, if you're young, make sure you really love this business.
Yeah. You got to have passion for it.
Because it's going to be there were some weeks I barely made enough to make the booth rent.
Yes.
It might be a whole month you hitting like that, you know?
Exactly.
And then it might be some weeks you'd be like, oh dang, wait, I made $300, $400, $500 over the booth rent. Oh, I made $1,000 over the booth rent. Oh, I made no money this week.
Yes.
So on one Saturday, all 5 of your clients might cancel.
Exactly.
If it's raining, your clientele is going to be affected. So people don't understand, or just on those days, somebody decides they're going to be 5 minutes late. 5 minutes in reality is 15 minutes.
Yes. And then
if you're late
back. Yeah. It throws your whole schedule.
So it throws your whole day off. So just to think, like we've had times where your client is 5, 10, 15 minutes late, throw your whole day off, but your kid got a performance at 5 o'clock.
Exactly. And you trying to rush me.
And I'm just saying, like say my kid had a performance. So now I got to figure out my day. Am I going to cancel my 4 o'clock? Am I going to miss that money? Like, you know how it is. It's a game. It is not for the weak at all. Like you really got to be strong-minded. You got to be confident. You got to wake up. I also believe in setting the tone for your day. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna make 500 today. Right. Because when I used to tell myself that, it used to happen. I used to get up. I used to call my clients at the beginning of the week, and and when I did those types of things, my clientele reflected that. Now when I'm being cocky, Aaryn, because I've been there before, like no, like I've been that barber before because I had so many clients, Exactly. So I like to tell people too, don't ever go there because your clients will leave you. There's always somewhere for them to go. Like some of them you want to run off, some of them you want to keep. Like some people are good people, some people are your $400 and $500 a month people. Exactly, that's gonna be consistent to help. Yeah, so don't let your attitude run that off.
Oh, that's so true. So let's talk about the board now. Do you believe that the board has shown diversity when it comes to curriculum and the training that they required?
Absolutely not.
Would you say absolutely not?
Because when I was in cosmetology school, I taught the thermotexturizing hair class, and we only had one African-American teacher, and that's whose hair I had to do it on.
Wow.
And it was probably, they would put all our classes together. We had creatives, once you get to a certain amount of hours, it was a different name for our school. So they would put all levels of people together to come in this class so I could thermally texturize her hair. And I was just like, this is wild. Like, and then just even products, like the products are not made for us. When they do make a product for us, they make whatever the product is and then put a girl with some curly hair in the shower, just rinsing it out. And I'm just like, that's not even realistic. And that's why most people don't have hair now, is because this industry was, the crazy part is it was taken from us because we created it, because we were the people who had to figure out what to do with their hair, you know?
Exactly.
So they, you know, they took it and ran with it basically. But I feel like we have been cut out of something that we created. And I especially feel like that with the barbering. Like,
wow,
this was an African American industry as far as the fades and the tapers and the different hairstyles, you know, like, of course, every culture has their barbershop, but as far as like, oh, we about to get this fade popping, and oh, you got a mohawk, and you got like these crazy, that's culture, like the dreads and or the locks or whatever you call them, like the twists, like that was what we had.
Right.
And
right.
when I go to hair shows and stuff now, I'm like, wow, we have been wiped out.
Yes.
Like literally go to one of these big shows. Our presence is not there. We're in the audience, but we're not on stage.
Zero.
And then I feel too, when they do pick a Black person or African American or colored or whatever, cultured, whatever you call yourself, it is somebody that is controllable or a certain image. So it's like, you're not going to just take like a real raw,
ADOS
natural hairstylist.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's somebody that kind of molds and fits into whatever you have going on or whatever image you're trying to convey and put out to the world. But
definitely,
this industry, like, it definitely, we need to come back.
We definitely need to come back.
Perfect. In that magnitude. Like, yeah, we're in the shops and stuff, but and that's another thing too. A lot of people that I have worked with do not feel they should continue their education. So it's not even just the industry, it's also us. Yeah. And then when we do have our own shows, they're poorly attended.
Yes, because they don't feel like they need to learn anything. It's like,
or you feel like you should go, why would you go to Vidal Sassoon to learn how to press hair?
Exactly.
When you could go to Maranello and Inglewood, where I'm sure more of the clientele that's coming in there is textured hair. So when I went to Orange County, I needed to learn that texture of hair.
Yes.
Like my mom taught me, I knew how to braid. I knew how to do hair before I got to cosmetology school. Right. So basically I need to go there to learn how to put in layers and round brush and things that we would never do in our community.
Exactly.
You know, or that I've never seen. Even men round brush their hair. I went out on a date. Well, me and my sister were going on a date, and we met the guys at the JW across the street from the place we were going to. So we're in the bathroom changing because we both came from work. And I'm like, it's a round brush. A girl over here. So I asked her, I was like, y'all had girls over here before we came? Like, why would you have a round brush in here? And he's like, that's my round brush. But he did have the hair that, little short hair, the little spike back. So now if I saw a dude round brushing his hair, it would be nothing to me. But if one of my homegirls was with me and he in there blow drying the hair, she was like, is he, know?
Exactly.
She's gonna assume something. But like, since I'm familiar with it now I know. So when I went there, I learned a lot.
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh. I would have never thought. I wouldn't have never thought dudes round brush their hair. Men
do, just being a barber, I don't care what color the man is, they're all the same, and they're really simple. And then you just have the ones who really care about their hair and the ones who don't.
Just real anal to the last line. Hair.
Some people are, and those are the ones they don't want to pay. They pay you about, if it's $20, you get $20. You're not getting a tip or anything.
That's too bad.
But they want to tell you exactly how to do your job.
Right. Exactly. It's like,
why the mirror, and those are the ones I want to be like, I don't care what I do to you. It's not going to make you look any better. Okay. Like,
I promise you.
You need to stop.
So have you had any memorable incidents that happened to you as a barber?
Well, of course, just the guys, like, they're hilarious. I've had two that stick out. One guy, he was way older, like too old for you. And too old for my mom, probably around my grandma, that's about his age. But he used to come in the barbershop and bring his son with him. And the guy that owned my barbershop used to be like, oh, he's very smart. Like, you should talk to him. Not in that way, but just like when you cutting his hair, just ask him stuff. Because he used to flip multi-million-dollar companies. So I'm like, oh, well, how do you do that? Like, just ask him. So I don't know. Well, I didn't know anything about business when I first started cutting hair. Like, because I was given everything grown up. So I didn't have to do anything. Like, they pay the bills, everything. So for me, it just was not clicking. So I'm just like, I need to talk to as many successful people as I know. Like, I need to I need to know what's the difference between everybody I know that's just regular and then these ultra successful people, right?
Right.
So one day I was like, oh, well, can we talk one day? He's like, oh yeah, we could talk. We'll like go to lunch or something. I'm like, okay, cool. Since the guy that owned the shop vouched, I'm like, okay, he must be like a great older guy. This dude come up in the shop that day with the biggest watch. He all suited and booted. He's like, oh, we were gonna go to the Ritz or something out on the little patio. So, you know, when you eat, I mean, when you frequent places, if you have money, like when you get there, like it's the red carpet treatment. So when we pulled up, we went right outside to the patio, you know, where everybody eats and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is great. He's telling me like all kind of stuff. So I was like, oh my God, I learned so much. So we're getting ready to leave. I'm going back to work. And he's like, oh, I want to show you the pool. So I was like, okay, like, and I'm young at this time too. So I'm in my mind, I'm just like, oh, this guy is really just teaching me stuff. And then after the pool, we're walking back and he's like, do you want to make love? And the first thing I said was, I would fucking love you. That was like the first, I was so offended because I was like, you did this whole thing for that? Like, and then he's like, yeah, I'll call the dude at your job and tell him like that this pool you with me, you're not coming back. Like, I'll pay your wages for the day. And I was like, that's prostitution. And he's like, huh? And I was like, you better take me back to work right now, like in front of everybody that was there. And I was like, this is not a thing.
Yes.
So literally, whenever he came in my shop, he couldn't even lift his head up. And I'm like, this is a multi-millionaire. Like this is how he came in all the time. Just head down.
Embarrassed by his actions.
And I told him, and I'm telling the dude that owns the shop, I'm telling him exactly what you did, because he shouldn't be vouching for you saying that you're a good guy and you're really not a good guy. So he needs to know as well. And then when we got back to work, I told him like, well, I was like, there is no way. And then the second thing that happened was a guy, I've known him since I was way younger, but he's older than me. So he was older than me in school. So I started cutting his hair. And of course, all my clients flirt like, okay, I'll take you to lunch, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And like, I could write a book on turning a dude down and he didn't realize like you just turned him down. So like this one guy always asks me, I'm like, oh, I'm going to Vegas. Whatever day it is, I'm going out of town. Like, right. I'm somewhere. So with him, like I've been cutting his hair, he's been asking me out. So every time he leaves, it's always the same thing. Like, oh, I've been asking you for a year to go out, like whatever. Right. And I literally act dumb. I'm like, just whatever. He leaves, it's whatever. So this particular time, I'm in my suites, you know, I'm in my suite and there's multiple suites around. So right across, it's a triple suite with men in there. Right. There was a guy next to me. And then the guy that owned the building that I worked in was on the other side. Right. And it was a Saturday and it was a bunch of people there. And literally he like closed my curtain and like tried to force himself on me. And I like snatched the curtains and opened the door. And I'm just like, that is not okay, blah, blah, blah. Nobody saw anything. No. And I said, I felt violated for months after that. I was like, this is the worst. So then I started telling the barbers, like, if I was going to be working late or whatever, so they could stay there longer. But yeah, I was just like, the nerve of him. So wow. You think I would ever be in a private setting with you cutting your hair? Like, never again. I was wondering if that ever happened to you. Like, but that was like recent though. So like to me, and then I'm not like a little chick. I'm 5'9", like every single bit of it, you know, right, like I'm slimmer now, but I'm not like a little chick that you could just, my hands are bigger than most females, like everything. Like I look like I could tear you up if I wanted to, like just physically. Like my attitude is not, I never in my mind come off like that. But a lot of my male friends are like, oh, you always flirt. And I'm like, no, I'm not flirting. I know I'm not. I'm just being nice. Like, so, you know, like I'm encouraging. I'm all those things that you would like when you get a service, you know? Yes, I'm doing my job. There's so many things I could do to show you that I like you. So first of all, if you've asked me for over a year to go out and I have not gone out with you, that should be sign number one. That's number one. How many more signs you need after that? I don't know. So yeah, that. And then, so just women should not think just because you are, because it's even a stud in our industry that got assaulted. So when they touched her, I said, oh, well, none of us are safe. Okay. If they out here touching the men, women, none of us are safe. Wow. Because usually men won't even go there. Well, in
Yeah.
my mind, but I guess it is a whole new thing of men trying to revert studs or lesbians or whatever. But I was just like, this is too much.
Wow. Wow. I've
Yeah.
always wondered about that with cutting men's hair because I was like, oh, I want to try to go get my license to cut hair.
No, it's a great thing. It's like the attention is great.
Right.
Like literally, I didn't date for a long time because when I got off work, I'm like, I don't need any more attention. Like, I don't need another guy to even look at me like it's been enough for today, just like literally turning men down all day. But it's also like a confidence booster. And then to me, you get to learn men. So,
right.
Like my last relationship didn't work out, but I'm not pressed about it because I understand men. Like it just is what it is. And then I think so a lot of my personality too. But yeah, they're funny.
That is funny.
But that is not acceptable though. You should never like force yourself on anybody. To me, after you ask somebody a couple of times to go out, just leave it alone.
Yeah, I think
because at that point it's like harassment.
It is. It's true.
Yeah.
And especially like you say, I'm giving you a service and that's all I'm trying to give you. If you know when somebody likes you and somebody's reciprocating
especially a woman. I'm like, geez, boy, I look like a stud when you come in here on purpose. So you don't try to talk to me. Like I never wear anything sexy or revealing or any of that. So why would you think? And I have the opportunity to do that.
Right. So you do that on purpose a lot of times.
Yeah, but I see the girls and I just be like, girl, you out here with them booty shorts on cutting and that
setting yourself
and
up.
Posting that, you really setting yourself up for something because one of them dudes gonna come in there and get exactly what he's looking to get,
Right.
But that's what you advertising too. So
exactly.
Because why is it a picture of you cutting, but it's a side profile with your ass showing? Like literally, are you trying to sell your butt or are you selling haircuts? Like what are you doing? Exactly. So now that's another thing with our industry, especially these other cultures, they've over sexualized the industry. Like now everything's just fake. It's just boobs and haircuts. And like, I'm like, girl,
and I know exactly what you're talking about. I've definitely seen it online.
They got a whole page now of like over sexualized barbers. And it was like the guy I was dating was like, oh, I can't believe you're not on there. I was like, because you can't find a picture of me cutting hair like that.
Exactly. This is my job and I come to work professional. Period.
Yeah, like are y'all selling more than what you think? I even had a dude today text me like, oh, can I get a haircut? Oh, come over for a haircut and dinner. I told him haircuts and dinner don't mix.
No, they don't. No.
Like I would never come cut your hair and have dinner with you. It's not happening.
So have you dated one of your clients?
I have talked to one of my clients, but never like full on. Just because I think like it messes up your money. And then it's like also you're gonna date this client, date that client, date. Like our rule back in the day was like you don't sleep with your clients or like
yeah.
I like to keep it separate. And then also too, because the men you date, it's like, oh, you're gonna be cutting hair and like, I just like to keep my business as business. So
yes,
I don't want to, even in a relationship, I don't want to be cutting your hair. And like if I'm cutting your hair, keep it as a professional haircut. Don't be trying to be my boyfriend while I'm cutting your hair. Don't touch me inappropriately. Don't like I like my business is my business. Like don't be funny while I'm doing this in any type of way. And then with men, it's like you're not gonna sucker me into a haircut and something extra.
Right.
Because I already know how the game goes. Like I don't have celebrities. This one celebrity's like, oh, we sitting down watching TV after a haircut at the studio. And he's like, oh, you should get my name tatted, right? And that's usually why when I finish cutting hair, I leave. Like it's done, you good, you like it, okay, I'm packing up. Yes. I'm out of there. So some people, especially if I meet you through somebody else. So I have like producers and stuff that are like plug me with stuff. So I'm like, okay, I done drove all the way out here. I'll watch TV or whatever. As long as it's in like a setting where there's other people, never like a private setting. This nigga's like, oh, you should get my name tatted. So I'm just looking at TV. I'm not even thinking he's talking to me. He's like, hello, you should get my name tatted. And this is a rapper people love. And I was like, who are you talking to? Like, just like that. He's like, I'm talking to you. Like, my name would be cute if you got it tatted right there. You lost your fucking mind. Just like that. And I'm leaving. Like, and I'm still gonna get my $1,000. But I feel like too, men respect you more when you like, have you lost your mind?
Right. When you just tell them the real.
You think I'm gonna go get your name? I don't know you. First of all, when I walked in here, you smell like 10 billy goats. Like you've been fighting with billy goats and camels and 10. It was just, I'm like, you don't even have enough respect for me to even wash your, you know what, before I even get in here. You fucking stink. Then you got the nerve to think I'm gonna get your name. Like, get out of here. Like, dudes don't even be thinking.
Wow.
I done had some things happen. Like,
wow. What? Okay, so do you use any chemicals when you're servicing your clients?
As far as like cleaning stuff, or
like bleach? Do you use relaxers? Do you use any, or
oh
are
yeah,
you more of a natural?
No, I do everything.
Oh,
only thing I don't prefer to do unless I'm on set is that whole fake hairline.
Oh, okay.
That the men like to wear. But I mean, I'll do it if you request it. But I like to give so if you go look at my work, that's literally my work. It's not something if he go wash his hair, it's gonna come out. But yeah, whatever they need. If you want to come in here and dye your beard blue, I'm like the one for it.
Oh, okay.
If you want designs, I'm here for it. Only thing I do encourage is that we switch your hairstyle up. I can't do the same thing for 6 months. Like, dude, we gonna, you need a different look.
Something different, something.
Switch it up some type of way. You just come here and get the same thing over and over. Like, so I'm like more of a pusher too. Like, I feel like I made most of my clients look 100% better. If you got a little weird, funny shape, we growing you a beard. I don't care if you think you can't grow a beard. Like, you got a little chin, let's grow your beard out. Let's get you some chicks. So I think I'm more, I got that eye, like, for men. I'm like, okay, this is what you need. Like, I got a client, he's like, I like it all even. I have to tell him, you're not handsome enough to wear your hair cut low like that. You need a fade. You need to put a little part in it. You need to grow your beard out. And like, he got offended, but he's still my client. Right. I'm like, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm a woman. So when I look at you, you are not handsome enough to cut your hair down low like that. Just like there's some women that are not attractive enough to shave their head bald.
Yes.
Like, if you don't have a beautiful face, why would you cut all your hair off? And that's the same thing for a man. Like, sometimes some people need hair in their face. Me, when I wear my hair in my face like this, I don't look as attractive as I do if I pull my hair back. Right. Some people look beautiful in ponytails. Some people, so like, even looking at you, we have literally the same face, right?
Yes.
So we got this, we have, and the same eyes. So we can wear basically pretty much anything. But like I said, you probably shouldn't part your hair and wear your hair like this.
Exactly.
Because it's not going to be as beautiful as how you are now, because you got your hair off your face. I can see your face. So like the light can hit your face and all those other things, Exactly. And then your facial features also play a role. Yes. So to me, if you got this big soup cooler nose and soup cooler lips, don't cut your hair off your face, because now everything is just going right here. Right. We kind of needed something, to draw it out. So
yes.
Yeah, I love that part of the industry though.
I do
just
too.
Helping out.
I do too. I like people having that transformation after they get out of my chair.
Yeah, I love that.
I love
one of my rappers, he got on FaceTime. He was like, she my new barber. Oh my God. Like, look at me, bro. And I was just like, that's what I like,
Yes. That's the biggest reward to me in the business. Definitely.
Yeah. Especially when I volunteer, like, because some of them kids, they never get a good haircut.
Yes, definitely. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of your future goals?
So right now I'm really like pushing my fine and fit business, and then I'm working on Alexander and Niche. So I really want to like I want to get my vision out of my head.
Yes.
And I feel like also with me, it's just like learning and building a team. So that's like my new thing. I want to build the right team who believes in the stuff that I have as I do, and people who are smart enough to help it progress. Because like I said, I'm still learning business. So like I did learn a lot of stuff, but it's always good to have a team and other people pushing and making sure the train is going. So I want to do that. And then I want to also figure out how to be home more.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I got this job, but I'm like, I keep going, he got 58 days till I quit. Only because as a creative, I see how much time I'm losing in the office. So it's like, oh, I got a salary. I was so happy about salary. And then I'm like, but what about this other thing? So the way my job works is he don't come in till like 1 or 2 o'clock. He's not clinical either. So he just owns the place. So
Okay.
I update. I basically run it, but I'm like, I need to run my own stuff. So I'm gonna slowly, now that the world is opening back up, because that was another thing. I didn't know what was going on in our
I know. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
like, I don't want to go, and it's expensive to rent studios and stuff. I don't want to give y'all $800-900 a month and y'all close us down every 2 weeks. Like, I don't have the
Exactly.
money to be doing that. So
Exactly.
yeah, just more figuring out how to make money online. My biggest thing, I've already written out like a lot of stuff to actually just go straight into education.
Okay.
Online education. I want to sell courses. Like you said, there's no representation for us, right?
Exactly.
Basically. Or if it is, it's very little as somebody doing it on a very small scale. So I would like to connect with people like even like you already have something that you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
So usually I go find a whole bunch of people that need to run with me and I gotta like navigate and do everything for us. Now I'm just like, I just want to get on the tracks with people who already are going, and then we could just get together. Cause I'm like, I literally know everybody. Like,
yes, exactly.
So it's just time to start, really connecting the pieces and then not making it something that everybody can be a part of. It is exclusive. It is for people who are building brands. It is for people who believe in education. It's not just for the regular barber or hairstylist. Like I want people to be seriously hungry. So I put together this thing. It was going to be called the crossover tour, where I take cosmetologists and teach them barbering.
I love
it. So
I
think that's going to be like, I just need to get that on paper. So that's the next thing that I'm going to be like ready to push out, and then just getting it recorded.
Right. Okay.
So with me, I'm like a big scale kind of person. So now I'm just like, you can do stuff in little increments, and then it doesn't even have to be me. So if somebody loves doing relaxers, I'll find a chick that does relaxers and we do just a whole special blowing her up on relaxers.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, and then like I said, in our industry it's so many ways. Like if you do, like my mom, they used to do videos back in the day. You remember, and you selling at the hair stuff.
Yes.
Like we should do that kind of stuff again.
Yes.
For us, because one thing, we got to do it before it could be done by somebody else anyway. And usually, and with social media and stuff now, once we get going, you'll realize, oh, this was going on back in the day.
Exactly.
Because I watched this Black girl do a virtual fashion show where the clothes were walking. They stole her idea, but thank God for social media, she already had it out. So when they did it, they're like, yo, y'all just stole her idea. Like you're a major corporation, you just stole this Black girl from Nigeria or wherever she was from.
Exactly. Yes.
The way her brain, like I never would have thought I had to have walking clothes.
Yeah.
So she should get all the credit for those walking clothes that these other people just stole her idea and just ran out with. So that's another thing. I'm like, okay, let me keep my ideas, like I tell stuff because I'm a believer, like you have to tell people stuff for things to happen, because some people, you never know who can help you or just who you're speaking to. So that's like a thing. I want to bring our community together. I know so many girls that want to be barbers. So I want to continue the PrettylilBarber thing, but I don't want them to just be barbers. Like I want them to be branded, have really something going on. And then my next thing, which if everybody want to get in, I want to do like the mobile trucks and stuff, but have it to where it's already set up and you literally just rent your truck and you go. So
okay.
Just more stuff to where you can make more money, because most barbers and stylists retire broke.
Yes.
Because we don't have that other knowledge, like it's not just cutting hair and making $5,000 and $10,000 a week. Like you gotta put that money elsewhere.
Yes, like literally you see the schools like Universal and stuff like people like that. And then you got Doris Mosley. You just got all these people that you like, they have
that's who I came in with.
Yes.
So that's probably why I'm the way I am anyway too, because she was teaching a class. Her and my mom taught the class at Paul Mitchell when I was like, oh, I'm going to this school. They was trying to get me to go to Bellflower at first. I was like, no, I'm going to Paul Mitchell.
Yes, definitely.
I'm like, all these white people in here, it's white that look like me. This is where I'm coming,
Right. Exactly. Because
we deserve to be represented in here too.
Yes. I'll be able to stand out.
And then that school though, I said, if I could create that here, that's what it was all about. It wasn't about being white or Black. It was about culture. It was about donating your time and your resources, being accountable, being early, not on time. They taught us how to open a shop. They took us to fashion shows. So like I did not Victoria's Secret, Forever 21 fashion shows. And
yeah,
like we volunteered, but they literally, they gave us like the blueprint. So if I went and worked for any establishment, it would be for them, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was so broad. It was like nothing you would have got at Marinello's in Inglewood. Like it was just, or Bellflower or Trey Tech, it was just different. So even if I could go and take those types of things to those schools,
right, yes,
definitely. You know, I don't even have to create anything. I could just go back and teach that.
I would say start your own school. Like you say, you need to do some online and distance learning, because this stuff can't be learned distantly. So you can do that online instead of taking your intellectual properties to these other people. But I think,
I think too, if you have a system, they can buy it, you know?
Yes, that's true. But I was about to say, because I've seen Paul Mitchell's curriculum, you know, working for NACAs and how they put everything together and what they teach. And it is truly, it has been mastered. You know, they really care about their students. They're getting a lot of feedback from them, and they're really implementing that in. So I definitely agree with that Paul Mitchell brand. They worth every piece of money that you give to them, because they really,
they're like, it's a code. And I'm like, well, you need to get in it, okay?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Because it's more of like it's not even just, oh, you do hair. And then even when you do hair, they make you think. Like we used to have to go to IKEA and different places and find a shape. Like you might find an octagon that's green. You got to take this back to school and create a whole hair situation around it, and then get up in front of your class and explain why this inspired you to do this. And you know, inspiration is inspiration. So you could be inspired, but don't copy. So don't just put a green octagon in the head. You gotta, I use the green octagon. So you can make the hair green or blue or whatever, and it remind me of like the world and waves. So you put a bunch of layers in it that move. So octagon has a bunch of shapes and it's moving, you know, it's dimensional. So that's how, you know, it was just like a really, like, you need to think outside of the box. And I was just like, this is different.
Right. Yeah.
But it works, you know?
Yes.
So I was like, if I could create fun, I even want to like team up and do like an in-person class, not for too many people. And it's literally just like rocking fun all day. Cause that's pretty much what Paul Mitchell was. My teacher had her music blasting. We had crayons and pencils. We were singing songs about the relaxer. Like that's how I learned the 27 or however many steps it is. Like
it is. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, but she had turned it into a perm song. So like, like everybody is not a traditional, like, let me go in this class. Like me, I think of class, I think of going in there and falling asleep.
Right. Exactly.
I was petrified when I first started. And then when I got in there, I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever. I'm driving a whole hour and 20 minutes both ways every day because it was that good, you know? So if I could offer something that's that good for people.
Yes.
Like
definitely.
That's what I'm leaning more towards. So I think just me finding people who are like me, people who are already starting and have stuff going on instead of people I have to build up. I think once I like get that on the map, then I'll be good, you know?
Yes, definitely. So I definitely am on board. If you need my help in any way,
of course, you know, I would love
let me know.
Collab. I mean, you already have the platform, so I would love to just be able to put whatever on there that would help it grow, you know?
Yes, definitely. And same here. And before we go, can we plug your social media contacts? I don't know if you're taking new clients, but if you
of course.
Give them
I even want to start doing hair again. So, and I do beautiful hair. That's why I sometimes look at my work and I'm like, why would you stop doing hair? But
right.
Yeah, so it's Pretty, PrettylilBarber. And that's my Instagram. And that's where everything goes down. That's where you see my whole personality and everything, you know?
Perfect. Well, I enjoyed the interview with you today, Miss Aaryn.
Yeah, I had fun.
And nice.
I loved it.
Well, I think I met you at your mom's, was it her 50th?
Her birthday party.
Her birthday party. Yeah, at the shop. Yeah, I think I met you then. But you guys, of course, was all over the place.
And I was not, that's when I was all over the place.
Yes, that's okay. Yes, nice meeting you. You look like your mom, very beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah. She taught
definitely.
me a lot. So thank God for
Yeah.
her. Now you know
Yeah.
she's out doing what she's doing. So but
Yeah.
just to see her work like that nonstop, I'm just like, I don't know how you do it. So that's why I'm hitting the online stuff because I'm like, girl, I ain't gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. She got that hustle blood like me too.
Yeah, but I think it's also a different generation than the way you guys set us up.
Yeah, it
Was
is.
like, here, baby, here,
Because
here,
we
here.
gave you a more of a platform. You didn't have to start where we
Yeah,
start.
we didn't have to
That's the
start.
main thing is
But
that
see, that's what also makes me be like, okay, I have to push myself harder a little longer because when you are fortunate enough to be put in a situation where you didn't start very low. So like I said, even when people tell their stories, I cannot relate to not eating. And like I used to go to Disneyland 2 and 3 times a year when I was
right.
younger. And we
You had
always
a
went to the
pass.
beach and like it was mandatory you went on family vacation. I used to be pissed. Like, why do I have to go on vacation with you guys? You know, like, so I was literally that spoiled as kid. So I think my only hardship was when I really started doing things on my own. So even now, like, well, you know, just having my own stuff, I don't let my parents do as much. And then I have 2 sets of parents, like both my parents remarried. And then I have my mom. I mean, I have my aunt and then I have my godmother. So my aunt was like my dad growing up because my dad was out of state. So she did everything. And then my godmother is also like that. So when my mom was like, no, I was like, that's what I'm calling my godmother, or that's what I'm calling my auntie. So my mom could be like, no, you're not getting that cell phone. I used to be like, girl, I'm getting your cell phone. Like, which I wasn't a bad kid, but I literally got everything I wanted. So when I finally got into the industry, like, especially cutting hair, these dudes are like, you can't cut my hair. And I'm like, and then if you're attractive, they really think you can do it. So like me, I had to be a beast. Like,
right. Like
I used to
I'm
be
about
like,
to
that's
prove
okay.
myself.
Yeah, one day you're gonna come in here, nigga, and I'm not gonna cut your hair. And I'm gonna be the best barber in here. Like, and that was just my thing. Like, I feel like as females in this industry, you gotta be the best. So that was my drive for a lot of like, I'm gonna learn everything and I'm gonna be better than everybody that tried to knock me. My first barber shop I went to, Curtis, that owns Exotics. He was so happy. He took all the girl barbers on stage. One lady was Lisa, that was like our mentor at the time. She took my cousin and then myself. And he's like, yeah, these the female barbers, blah, 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 blah. The audience was dead. Yeah, so my mentor said what she said. My cousin said what she said. And I talked last and I said what I was like, that's crazy. Y'all didn't show us no love, but that's cool because I'm here to take all your clientele, period. And gave them the mic back. Because they don't show you no love when you first get in. But when I went to go work at Edge Up, that's when they really, because I used to work at Floyd's. Then besides this one dude, Gilbert, who taught me how to fade, and he's Hispanic and he's still my friend to this day. Like, he's the only person that was really like, let me help you. The other dudes, they used to just laugh.
Wow, really?
They weren't black. One was white and one was like Hispanic too, but they would be like, oh, I can't help you. Like, I'm busy. So Gilbert, like, he really started helping me. Then when I started getting a little better, I was like, man, I got to go to a black shop.
Right.
But I was like, man, I can't go to the hood. I don't want to go to the hood, but I want to make a certain amount of money. So I went to Edge Up at Culver City.
Right.
So my friend was working there. He was like, my cousin owned the barbershop, just come up there. So I went up there and I met Percy and I was like, okay, I want to work here. He's like, okay, cool. And then he didn't call me. And I was like, so I went up there again. And when I went up there the next time, I was like this. And he's like, why are you looking at me like that? I was like, why you didn't call me? He was like, you think I'm gonna call you when you want a job? Like, why you didn't call me? And I was just like, okay, well, when can I start? Like, exactly. And then my cousin worked there, and it was just all like, you know, big old black men. So they really like Edge Up. That's why I was like, I don't care that I don't work there anymore. The only reason I don't is because it was commission based, but that is where I got it in. Like Fox Hills Mall at Edge Up, like that is where I learned like barbershop culture. I learned like they made me use the razor. Like, wow, them dudes really was like, you gonna do it. It got to the point where they stopped helping me. They was like, no, you taking all the clients.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Yeah, but like, and even Percy, like he built up PrettylilBarber. So like I had my name, but he's like, that's PrettylilBarber right there. Like he gave me like a different confidence. Yes. It was almost like more of like a branding than I'm just working there, you know? Right. So like they really, all of the dudes like really took me up under their wing. And like, when I say everybody gave me their all, that's literally what they did. And then for him to just even let me cut in there in the mall. Yes.
Yes.
So that's why, like with him, I always be like, even when I let people, it's like, oh, Percy's mad at you. I had to call him, and I was like, I've been hearing like you mad at me, but you need to know, like, I will always have love for you for giving me such an opportunity, you know, like, because it was life changing for me, even though it wasn't for him, but for me, just getting in there and all the dudes that he made sure are perfect trained me, and you know, like. He pumped me up. He used to make me get up on the stage and cut. And I used to be like, oh my God. But like, just to have somebody push you like that into your greatness is like really what you need. So I was like, I don't care if you're mad at me. Like, I love you to death because you literally helped me get, you know, to another level, which sometimes that's what you need. And especially when you first starting out, you don't have that confidence.
Definitely.
And like, he the one that showed me how to charge. And like, he took me, we did the Oscars, like this is all the kind of stuff I did when I worked at that shop, you know, even the other dudes weren't doing that. So I always take my opportunities, and I always make sure like whoever put me in a position, like I'm never gonna shit on you.
Yes, definitely.
Like I might not, and then what I had to get him to understand is like leaders create more leaders, right? So as a leader, you're gonna have people that follow you. But if you're a good leader, oh my God, my phone is ringing. I'm trying to decline it. Oh my God, I don't know how to use this phone. And then it's paused. Hold on.
Okay.
It's like my second call. Dang it. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're a real leader, you're going to create more leaders. So I had to tell him, I left you because literally I watched every move you made. And then with him, it was more than barbering. This dude used to be at work making deals. And I used to be like, I saw that.
Exactly.
He's like, you saw what? I was like, I saw that.
Exactly.
And he like, nobody else sees what goes on here. I'm like, I don't care what nobody else saw, but I saw that. Like, I pay attention. Oh, you opening what business? Oh, I used to be sitting because his station was up there and mine was like right here. So when everybody just talking and stuff, I used to be like, and even the men that came in there and the type of businesses that they did, I was like, it's so much more to life than just being in a barbershop. Like,
exactly. It sure is.
And all the side hustles, like this dude don't even cut hair no more. So I tell him, I'm literally going to be you. So if you're upset that you created another little you, then I don't know what to tell you other than you're a great leader. Like you made me think that there was more to barbering than, and it's true. Like,
right. And it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's so many levels to this industry. It's crazy.
Yep. I went and opened a shop after that. That went totally bad. Oh my God. Like we opened one Saturday, the next Saturday we was all gone at another shop. It was just like a mess. So like I learned like you got to do contracts. You can't just take people's words for stuff, you know?
Yes. Oh my God.
And what's big is like he came to that shop when I was there. Mind you, I left his shop and we secretly opened up another shop. Like it wasn't something we told him about.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the dude, like they approached me like, oh, you want to open a shop? I was like, yeah, I'm leaving anyway. Like, yeah, like whatever, like let's do it. And he came and he got a haircut and he was like, you need to move on. Like this is gonna be a mess. It's already a mess. You need to.
But you need to.
So I was like, damn, that's dope too, because you could have been like, haha, that's what you get. Like, so you know, I've moved around. I've done a lot of stuff. So that's why I'm like, I appreciate anybody who helped me along the way, especially when I was making stupid decisions, you know. So, yeah, like.
Well, Miss Aaryn, it's been so nice hearing your story. Thanks for sharing it with me. And I wish you all the best. Yes, I wish you all the best. And tell your mom I said hi.
I will. And you gotta do it again or do something.
Definitely. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something. Beyond the Chairs coming this summer. So I'll be inviting you guys out.
Oh, nice. I'll be there.
All righty.
All righty. Talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you. Thank you.
Bye. Of course. Bye. Thank you. Bye.